Hello, 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 hello. We are here. It is the return of the epicness and the chaos that is the Horror Metal Cast. I'm Stevie, and with me here I have young Joseph.
Hello, everybody. It's awesome to be back. Good to
Yes.
see you all again.
Hell yeah! If you're in the chat, if you're here kicking it with us live, give us a shout. We're using a new platform, so a little bit more interactive, and Joe can actually see the chat now. We got a great show for you tonight, though. This is crazy. It has been almost exactly 1 year since our last show.
Yeah.
Our last show was July 30th or 31st.
31st.
Of last year.
Yep.
It was our last show we discussed, Joe's cancer and us taking a hiatus and everything like that. It was a little early for me to discuss my big news, but at the time I was 6 weeks pregnant. And now so now I am a mom and I have a 3.5-month-old, which is weird and awesome at the same time. And, I never thought I'd be totally happy to have another human being's bodily fluids on me. And that's typically my day. And Joe has really great news for everyone.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say hi to Brianna. She just posted in the chat, I have a fancy microphone. And I do. This is my wonderful mic. That's one of the announcements I wanted to make.
Bree, if there's something fancy, Bree will point it out.
All right, so my good news, I guess, is that I am cancer free, ladies and gentlemen. For the time being, I am cancer free. It's been a hell of a ride. Last year has been insane. I mean, I could keep you guys here for about 3 days talking about it, but I'll keep it brief and say that it's been one hell of a ride, man.
Absolutely. Fuck cancer.
Great Adventures got nothing on this, man. This was just one for the books. It went to the brain a little bit. We went up there, we got that out, and we're right now we're cancer free, and I could not be happier, and I am absolutely glad to be with all of you. Again, it's just great to see everybody. Fuck cancer, somebody said.
That was me. I put that in there because fuck
Thank you,
cancer.
Stevie. That's right.
100%, man. You had let me tell you something about Joe. If you don't already know, he is the most, I don't care what anybody says, nobody's got him beat. He is the most positive person that I know. He's got positive energy, positive attitude. And if anybody was going to beat cancer, it was going to be you, Joe. So you deserve it.
I appreciate that. I really do. I mean,
Steve here says, congrats on everything. Thank you. And Adrian's here. Hey, yes. Adrian, good to see you again.
Yes, he is here. Hello, Adrian. Welcome back. Steven's here. Hey, Steven, what's up?
Good stuff. I'm glad to see some familiar faces in the chat. Hopefully we've got I know we got a couple new subscribers after my foray into the video creation world. I made us a trailer.
That was badass. Did you guys see our trailer? Do you like our new trailer? I thought it was awesome. Stevie has done an amazing job of getting this thing off the ground from word one, from the first show till now. And she's escalating, you know what I mean? She's in effect. Stevie is in effect. And
I'm a producer and a director now, so watch out.
Yeah, that's right, you are. And she came across with this just ridiculously badass trailer for the show. I mean, I was like, we're like professional now. This thing is like serious, and no, it was just amazing. She put it all together in a couple of minutes, I would suspect, because
it was like a couple of hours because my computer sucks ass. But
she's very happy with this. Very happy.
I try. I'm gonna be famous. I'm just kidding. I don't give a fuck about that. But listen. Since having a child, you don't understand. Like, I don't know if I have like advanced ADD. Or if I'm becoming just like a stupid person. I have no ability to focus. I have I'll be yeah, I'm worse than you now. I am. I'm worse than Joe now.
And I have an excuse now.
Everybody says, "Oh, it's mom brain. It's mom brain." No, I don't believe in that bullshit. There's I don't know. I might be like catching the Joseph or something. I don't know. But we have a hot list of some good shit to talk about. And want to start out as always with the horror side because that's my favorite thing ever. But actually the metal stuff is going to take prevalence this show just because of everything going on in the world. And no, don't worry, this is a safe space. No fucking politics. Absolutely not. When I say everything going on in the world, I mean the pandemic and just the disease in general has brought a lot of things to a screeching halt. And so one of those things happens to be the music industry. And so we are gonna talk about that with Joe being a musician and everything. That is something that we can discuss. And but to kick it off with horror, because I love it, and I love seeing both of our faces at once too, Bree. So basically, I'm sure everybody has heard of a little known J horror phenomena called Ju-on, which was brought into American spotlight with this pretty shitty movie starring Sarah Michelle Gellar called The Grudge. So the J horror version of it, the original, which is the, of course, best Ju-on. If I'm saying that wrong, please just punch me in the face. That is going to get its own Netflix show, or it has already gotten its own Netflix show, which is premiering this Friday, July 3rd. Now, it is going to be in Japanese. It is a J horror. It's not an Americana series. Hopefully, it has not been Americanized in any way, because I feel like a lot of the times we think that we can do things better than everybody else, and we lose a lot of the meaning of the art. So with that being said, I'm super stoked for the show coming out Friday. And there is actually going to be a new segment on this very YouTube channel called, and Robin has named it thus, Holding a Grudge, because it's hilarious and we're funny. But yeah, I'm teaming up with Robin from my Horror Metal Sounds review team. She's one of my reviewers with The Horror Show. And we're going to be doing the segment called Holding a Grudge, where every week we review new episodes of Ju-on Origins. A little bit more about the show if you didn't already know. So it's going to be a prequel to the original events of the original film, which if you haven't seen it, and surprisingly, a lot of people haven't seen the original. They are not aware that The Grudge was based on a film from an entirely different country. And I think a lot of the times, and we've talked about this on the show before, and if anybody in the chat would like to chime in on their thoughts and opinions on foreign horror films, I love foreign horror. And I mean, any genre, foreign films are wonderful. I think they're great. I mean, one of the Oscar winners this year for Best Picture was Parasite, which, if you haven't seen it, it's an amazing Korean film. Really great social commentary. But going back to horror, Japanese horror and French horror are two of my favorite foreign horror genres. And like Adrian said, the original Grudge, which is Ju-on, is disturbing. It really knocks it out of the park, whereas the Americanized one kind of waters it down. And so that's what I'm hoping to see with this series, is I am really hoping to see less jump scares and more scary stuff, like actual scary, jarring, shocking shit. I think a lot of people tend to stray away from foreign horror, which that's like a tongue twister to say. Foreign horror. I sound like an idiot. But they tend to stay away from it because they don't like subtitles. And I find that really, I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I don't mind reading them. And if the film is done well. I don't even feel like I'm reading subtitles. I get so, lost in the film in itself. If the film is good, you know what I mean? What are your thoughts?
I'll tell you straight away, Stevie, that I had just finished watching a Japanese series, and it was probably something that nobody else would watch ever, and it was the Bruce Lee story. Okay, and I thought it was. I started binge watching this thing. I thought it was about maybe 14 episodes, and it turned out to be 53. I was up.
Oh wow! I don't even know.
I was awake for basically 3 days because
What did you watch that on?
That was on Netflix. It's on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
And it is absolutely all done in subtitles. So I was never opposed to subtitles anyway, because as many of my younger friends did, and I did when I was younger, that's what I meant to say, we watched on Saturdays, we would get together and watch Kung Fu movies.
Awesome.
And then we go
that's what I was hoping you were going with that.
Yeah, we go out on the side after the movies and beat the shit out of each other and then go back in for a couple more, But that was all subtitles. Most of the original Godzilla stuff, all subtitles. So I grew up with them. I never had a problem with them. Some people, I mean, it's worse than like dumping army ants on them, you know what I mean? They go, oh my God, subtitles freak them out. They can't handle them. But I'm not opposed to that at all. I think they're great.
Yeah, I think like I said, French horror is one of my favorite foreign genres. A couple of films that I'm thinking off the top of my head, like Frontiers.
Right.
Think of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but in France, in the French countryside. Again, with social commentary thrown in that makes the film relevant to the political climate at the time that the film was written. And then, there's the Horde, Le Horde, by the same director, Xavier Gans.
Yeah.
Who coincidentally, his American English language film, The Divide, is one of my favorite films ever.
Great movie.
Yeah, so he's a great director, great French director, if anybody wants to check him out. And again, when you watch movies like that, and they are so, whether the special effects is what catches you, or the story catches you, or the violence or whatever it is catches you. High Tension is another French language horror film that's absolutely brutal, as well as Martyrs. All of these like extreme French horror films, so many people I feel like have not seen them because they're in fucking French. Right. I'm like, what's the fucking problem? And a lot of people don't want to watch Korean horror or J horror because they're not in English, and they shy away from subtitles. And then
you're missing out.
You have people now. So you were a big Kung Fu watcher, so God, I'm sure you're familiar with bad dubbing.
Absolutely. Now, voiceover, right? Voiceovers is something else, and I could never understand, even get close to understanding why. I mean, the movie storyline's great, the characters are great, the sets and the scenes are great, and you put this guy in the background going, "I'm gonna shoot you off. Yeah, don't pay attention to me right now," and the guy's like, he's raging, he's
really bad accents. They try to put the accents in, and it's like, okay, well, just speak in your normal voice. Why are you trying to sound like you're from this country? Stop.
Bruce Lee spoke once with his actual voice in the movie, and it was oh my God, I'm going back 40 years. I think it was Enter the Dragon. You have offended a Shaolin temple, and that was it. That was like the only time he ever spoke in a movie. And to me, it was the most natural thing in the world for him to hear his voice. It fit him.
But I'm going to really be like a cornball and like probably be such a disrespected loser, but I've never seen Enter the Dragon.
Okay, that's fine.
Never in my life, and probably people are like, "We hate you, boo, hiss." I never have. I know who Bruce Lee is, obviously. I've never seen the movie, so I don't know anything about it. Is it dubbed?
90% of it is. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he has one line in, out of all the movies he made. He was in like 5, 6 films. And the only time that you ever heard him speak was that one line in that movie. And that was it. That was the only time you ever heard his voice. Because, yeah, well, you're talking 1970s, and, other than seeing him in the magazines or maybe seeing an interview with him on, some martial arts show, other than that, you would not hear his voice anywhere else. And it was just really, I thought, fitting to hear him speak. And they should have done more, in my opinion, done more. So I'm not opposed to hearing, even if it's broken English, I would rather have the.
And, there's a really good example of that. So there's a show on Netflix. It's a dystopian post-apocalyptic show called The Rain. I believe it's Dutch. So the actors, if I'm not mistaken, the show's filmed in its native language, right? But the same people that play in the show,
right,
they also do the English as well. So if you watch it dubbed or not, It's the same voice, it's the same passion and expression and everything. It's done very well.
Right.
Again, that show's called The Rain on Netflix. Its final season's about to come up soon, later this year.
Is that 2 women by any chance?
Is it 2 what?
2 women in
it's a bunch of people. It's a bunch of people. The rain kills you and they're hiding and shit. It's actually kind of decent. It's like like a bunch of teenagers and stuff running around at the end of the world, but it's a pretty neat show.
Right.
And that to me, I think is really, really cool. I mean, if you've got the actors that, like you said, even if they have accents and it's broken English, but they do a good job of speaking. And if they are, bilingual or multilingual, then why not use them? Why outsource and hire a voice actor that doesn't have the emotion? You got people that have like the emotional range of like a chalkboard, and I'm not going to sit here and say that I can fucking do any better, because that's why I'm not in that line of work, because I probably can't. But it's just my criticism. That's my 2 cents. You've got this toy here that has more emotion than some of these voice actors.
Right, yeah, the bottle of Windex has more personality than the last voiceover guy. You know what I mean? That's pretty bad. My wife, my illustrious and very beautiful wife, Christina, thinks that I should do voiceovers. And I told her, it's something I might pursue. Well, you know what? You have to have, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I have a personality, maybe good.
It is good.
I don't know. But, to do a voiceover, first of all, you have to like what you're doing. You know what I mean? You can't go in there like, just, and I'm coming to get you now because I hate you so much. You know what I mean? It's like, really, dude? Can somebody get the guy a Red Bull maybe, wake his ass up? Put a stick in his ass and let him know he's actually making a lot of money to do a voiceover, because apparently they forget halfway through the movie. They just don't get it. But I would prefer subtitle over voiceover any day, because unless, like we said, it's done in a fashion where they're using their native tongue, and even if it's broken, they're using their native tongue. You don't lose the enamoring qualities of the movie that way. You don't lose the seriousness or the lightness of the part. You don't lose any emotion that way. Yeah. Because even, I've heard, people at a bus stop, that don't speak English, but there's emotion in their voice because you hear, that
they're mad.
He's pissed,
or they're laughing, or whatever. You have people that when you're in your natural element, that's where the emotion is. So I think, it's got to be tough to be a voiceover actor, because you're not in your natural element. You didn't act the scene out.
Right.
But again, I don't do this for a living. I don't mean to be like overcritical or whatever of these people in this line of work. But man, some of these fucking people that
some of them are in the wrong line. Some of them maybe
really
should have a dishwashing career instead of the voiceover because it's a little out of their reach.
And then a lot of the times too, you wonder if it's the casting directors, because I've watched movies and shows where they'll cast like the voice of a 12-year-old with like a full fucking grown man.
Yeah. 6'4" guy
37-year-old
coming out with a chainsaw. I don't like you very much. It's like, whoa, dude, really? Did somebody like squeeze the?
It's really,
I don't know.
It's really strange. It's like, hello, mother. Like some real fucking weird stuff.
Someone kicked him right in the package. I think is that what pretty much. Yeah,
and, or you'll have like this like beautiful woman and she'll be talking. She sounds like a 6-pack a day smoker, and like who casts these people? So it almost makes you wonder, like, oh,
what the fuck? I don't understand it. I mean, shouldn't they make?
I don't know.
If you really want to see bad, I mean, like just the worst voiceovers ever. Watch a couple episodes of the Bruce Lee story, okay? I mean, the movie itself is not too bad. It's not, it's not the best in the world, but it's not too bad. It tells the story pretty well of what he did. But the voiceovers in that movie, I mean, I was just like, and I'm sitting there, and I'm a creature of habit. Once I start something, I have to finish it. I can't. I'm done.
Yes.
Right. So,
I mean, I review movies, so I have watched my fair share of absolute fucking trash. I can't bring myself to turn it off. I can't.
No, you gotta keep going, right? You gotta keep watching.
It's bad. I've seen some really, really bad stuff, and I watched a movie the other day. By the end, I was like, "What the fuck?" I don't even really know what happened because it was so boring that I kind of zoned out.
Right, yeah, right. And then you wake up and what I missed? Nothing.
Yeah, and like a lot of the times, like I'll admit, like sometimes I'll be on my phone and be like, "Fuck, what did they say?" And I'll have to rewind something. But no, I wasn't even on my phone. I was just staring, and then I was like,
right, zone out because it's so bad.
I'm like, what time is it? This movie's done.
Scrape is better than sitting through an episode.
Yeah, so you kind of do the whole rewind and scrub through. Oh, this looks interesting. Let me watch this piece. That specific movie, particular movie that was so goddamn boring was The Lodge. And my review of that will actually be up on Horror Metal Sounds later this week. Because not only did Horror Metal Cast come back this week, but the horror show also came back on HMS. We did have to say goodbye to one of our reviewers, Maria, because she's just got too much going on. But we've got another guy that just joined the team. His name's Ryan. So I'm looking forward to, introducing our readers to him. But kind of good segue point here. From horror into the metal, but also, kind of staying on topic. A Quiet Place 2 was supposed to have come out in March. That was delayed.
Love to see that.
Yes, a lot of people have really been looking forward to that movie. And, obviously movie theaters are not really a priority right now. A lot of movie theaters, Regal, AMC, I believe they have actually chosen to remain closed. I know down here they have, and there's another local theater. I think they're in like only 5 states. They're called The Grand. They've also chosen to remain closed. And a lot of places are being really cautious because of their employees. Not just the consumers, but employees as well. You have to, when you own a business, you have to think of the people that run it for you, the people that work there. So, when thinking of the film industry, there's movies like A Quiet Place 2 that fucking mascot. for you. You wear your mask, Joseph. You wear it well. But you have movies like that that are put on a hiatus. Don't, if you pass out, now you're a lung cancer survivor, so you're putting mask after mask after mask on. So if you pass out, I'll just call 911 for you. Right? You've got
so good.
when he goes off camera, guys. Don't worry. We'll wait. We'll give him a couple minutes if he comes back on. You think about it, and I almost wonder what is the issue with certain studios. Oh, we got kitties. I like them. Certain studios are choosing to release movies direct to streaming, like The Invisible Man, The Hunt, Becky. There's a lot of independent stuff that I've been getting word that they are either going to drive-in theaters only or they're going to streaming only. And then you've got other movies that have been placed on an indefinite hiatus. And
Marvel.
And I'm just kind of like, why not just do streaming? That's the future.
Bree says A Quiet Place is highly recommend. It's great.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful movie. And
you're absolutely right, Bree. It is. It's awesome. That's.
I'm really bummed. I know I've got children's toys all over the place, and I just pick them up and fling them around.
The lobster comes dancing across the screen.
I really wonder why. I could look this stuff up. I can, but maybe somebody needs to look it up for me and then tell me about it in the chat. Why are some studios doing it and why are some not? I mean, do they really think that this virus is going to disappear and that everyone's going to rush to the movie theater to watch your fucking movie?
Right. I think it's a personal choice that they make, whether they do or they don't.
Is it like they're holding out that they're going to make more money?
Right.
I don't know. Because there's this movie, what's it called? That just came out direct to streaming. We Should Have Left with Kevin Bacon. I haven't watched it yet, but I think to rent that's like $18 or something, right?
You're right. She's right.
That's the same price as a movie ticket. So, well, in some places it's a little bit cheaper. But would it? What?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was the chat. Yep, I was just replying to him. Go ahead.
If the movie is going to make you the same amount of money, I don't know. I mean, I guess there's other things. I don't know anything about distribution and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think everything at this point should be readily available to help my instant gratification. And this is all about me, of course. I think they should release.
A lot of people don't.
Because I want to watch them.
A lot of people think like that. Marvel halted progress on one or two films that they were actually in the middle of, and then I think they halted release on 2 or 3. And I'm a huge Marvel guy, so I'm like dying over here, waiting for this shit to go away. But like I showed you earlier, right now it's Mask Central, and that segues into something else we're going to be talking about in a minute. But
so Adrian said he watched a pretty good film called Apostle. I've not seen it, I don't think.
Yeah,
you did see it.
Yeah, I did, and it was actually awesome. I'm going to get the logistics on it, who was produced it and stuff like that, because it was a great film. It's on Netflix. It was another movie I was thinking. Apostle kept hitting me in the head. Was a movie called Priest, which wasn't too bad. That was a vampire flick. That wasn't done too long ago either. That was actually half decent movie. The plot is great.
I don't think I saw that one either.
It's a post-apocalyptic vampire thing. Great movie. Check it out. It's it's fun. It's a fun little movie. I haven't seen anything coming out. Anything that would interest me anyway. I haven't seen, unless I missed something, which is quite possible because I was a little busy for a while there. I'm not sure if I missed anything at all. I've been out of the loop for a little bit. So, I got to get my legs up underneath me again too. And one of the ways I'm going to do that to segue in would be music. And I actually have a gig coming up. Some of you know that I have a few bands out. Adrian was gracious enough to purchase my CDs, and I love you to death. I have a fan club of one.
Oh,
well, Bree's there too, so she's my fan, and I have two fans, and I have this Gatorade. Gatorade loves me. I love my Gatorade. Anyway, yeah, I do a couple other things as well. I play in two cover bands. One is just a straight up cover band we started for fun years ago and kept going with it, and just nothing is off limits in that band. Alice in Chains to Tool and back. It's just nothing is off limits, so we have a lot of fun. Also play in a Black Sabbath tribute band, which is
I've seen them live and they're great. I saw them back in October.
Thank you,
surprise show for a benefit show. I'm surprised Mickey's not here tonight. I know he jumps in and watches the show. So
he's been busy lately. He's just been kind of busy lately. He knew it was coming, and he'll be here, and I'll shame him for not watching.
Oh, for sure, we're shaming him on air right now. So shame on Mickey.
He'll believe me. He'll catch up.
His Black Sabbath cover band is actually really good. The lead singer sounds like spot on. The sound is wonderful. It was awesome.
Brian, I closed the first time I played with those guys. I closed my eyes for a second, and Brian started belting out. It was the first time I heard him, and I was standing in the room with Ozzy circa 1971, and I'm like, God damn it!
He's good.
Yeah. I almost stopped playing because it was so fun just to listen to him.
Yeah, so he's good.
Yeah, guys, it was awesome. Stevie came up and surprised the shit out of me. And they, her and her, my wonderful illustrious wife Christina, her sister, all concocted this plan to get Stevie up here incognito, and she was hiding behind my living room door when I walked in. I said, "Oh my God!" It was so great. I hadn't seen her since the trip, and that night will live in my memory forever and ever. It was a benefit for my cancer, and I was so taken back by that and so moved. And I wanted to say it earlier on. You were talking about a lot of people were there with me, and you know what? It was probably all the people that got me through this more so than myself. I mean, you guys all carried me, and I'm grateful for it. So with that said, I'm moving forward, and I promised everybody if I got better, I'm gonna give back the best way I can, and one of those ways is playing. And Adrian, thank you so much. I appreciate that, man. We're going to be back out soon. Don't worry, the Black Sabbath thing is coming, but the other band is coming now on the 25th. Headcase, properly entitled. Headcase will be playing the 25th here in New Jersey. As a matter of fact, the same place you saw me, Stevie. So we had to wait for this show. This show was originally scheduled for like July, early July, probably, like in half a week we would have been playing, you know what I mean? It was right after the 4th. So COVID really shut that down, and it's not the only thing it shut down. It shut down tons of shows. A lot of my friends in the metal community are upset about that, and they're pissed off, but nobody's really losing money on it because they're going to on the tickets. And the band's going to get paid the way they did, should or would have had they played. So this is just a matter of time, but people want what they want, and they want it now, and a lot of people in the metal community are very upset about that. I mean, and rightly so. This is not an easy time for anybody, and one of the ways that we combat that is with things that we're very familiar with, things that we love and things that we, can get into and be ourselves at. And for a lot of us, it's metal. For Stevie, it's writing, for other people, riding a bicycle, a lot of the stuff that we're not able to do without the aid of one of these, and it's not easy to keep that thing on all day. I could tell you straight away right now, if I had to wear a mask at a gig, I'd probably, keel over and die. I wouldn't be able to breathe.
I don't recommend that.
Yeah, no. It's horrible. But then there's those of us that know that the time frame, is what it is, and you can't rush things. And we're looking forward to the gig as much as we were before to now. But a lot of bands are really upset about it, and
I mean, this virus has basically brought. I've got a list of just some festivals here that I was looking at. I mean, it's basically just brought an abrupt, screeching halt to the live music scene, not just metal, but live music in general. Yeah. Except for whatever fucking reason, country singers think that they can't catch it, so they continue to perform live. Which, okay, whatever, bye. But for example, in September, there was going to be a festival called Furnace Fest, and that had been on a 17-year hiatus. My husband was looking very much forward to this. He had tickets, everything. He was going with some friends up in the Sloss Furnaces in Birmingham, Alabama, and they've canceled it. It had, oh my God, it basically was going to be like 2003. The time capsule opened and the band said, "We're here," so if you were into like the punk, hardcore and metal scene of the early 2000s, then this festival was like definitely for you. So that was canceled, and that was a big bummer for people, especially, almost 2 decades of a difference in the time. Another huge festival in the UK that's big in the metal community was the Download Fest, and Iron Maiden and System of a Down were actually headlining that this year. That was also canceled. Non-metal festivals, Voodoo Fest, Glastonbury, Coachella, South by Southwest, all this stuff was canceled. And even here local, there an indie rock fest called Sand Jam was also canceled. So, you think of this, and the musicians, the people that work these gigs, lighting, sound, vendors, every aspect of the live music scene, like you said, people aren't getting paid.
No, they're not getting. One of the biggest festivals in Europe for metal is the Wacken Open Air Festival. That's usually that's probably anywhere from, I would say, 750,000 to 700,000 strong. It's huge. It's ridiculously huge, and that is now canceled. They canceled it. So the first time in 30 years that they canceled this festival, which is like really sick, but that's a sign of the times. And the lighting guys aren't getting paid. The roadies aren't getting paid. The techs aren't getting paid. The stammen aren't getting paid. The vendors aren't getting paid. A lot of people losing money.
I know, a lot of people, they're doing like the whole virtual thing, streaming. Yeah. Streaming is everything. Like I said earlier, streaming is the future. Movie theaters, in my opinion, are gross. I don't like them on a regular day. I fucking definitely don't like them when there's a pandemic. I just don't like to think of movie theaters. They gross me out. But, you think of attending a concert on your couch, you know what I mean? Like that'll probably eventually be the future as well. Slap your VR goggles on and you're in the middle of a pit somewhere, you know what I mean? Half the world away that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to feel that experience. So you had, like Slay at Home and these online music festivals in lieu of, live music. Obviously it's not the same. But what are your thoughts on that? And again, obviously people are not getting paid the same, but most of these live things that that musicians and other people are doing, the money is going to benefit these workers that are out of jobs, that can't put food on their table. I think it's a great idea, since there's not really any other way that people can go about, aside from just being like, hey, can you donate some money? Do you think that this will continue, the online music things, or?
No, I don't. I think that once, things are opened up again, honestly, to me, I'm sure there's a lot of people that feel the same way. There is absolutely nothing like live music in front of you, not just in front of you on a screen, you know what I mean, but in front of you. I don't think that people are going to be satisfied with the online thing. I mean, it'll fill a need, it'll fill a void, I think this is going to teach a lot of people a lesson in the music industry that, this is all started because of the music, not because of the money, not because of the tremendous show that you put on, your stage show. This all has to do with the music. And I don't know anything other than live music. Being a musician and being on thousands of stages, you don't see it the same way, I guess, as other people. But for me, there is absolutely no substitute for live music. I mean, you could sit here. I would love to see, Maiden come across the screen on a live vid. That would be amazing. It would be cool just to see it done. Right. Yeah. After the enamoring qualities are past, you're left with shit. I wish I was there, and that's always.
It's not metal, but so we were supposed to go to Sand Jam this year, which was going to be the first thing that I got to do after being pregnant. Okay. Yeah. Still haven't got to do fucking fuck all since I've been pregnant, because I've basically been in quarantine and I don't know what that is. Right? But I'm like a creature from fucking under my house. But so not metal, but Weezer. Okay, everybody knows who Weezer is. I've never seen Weezer live, and I was going to get to them live, and it wasn't going to cost me a fucking thing because Justin won tickets. Okay.
Oh wow.
That happens. We called into a radio and won tickets, and I was going to get to go to this festival for free and have fun, and now we don't get to do that. And that's my personal boo-hoo about it. But Adrian said in the chat, a lot of bands are going to suffer because of this. A lot of bands had to cancel their tours completely. And that's true, and as I mentioned earlier, it's not just the musicians that aren't getting paid. It's not just the musicians that are suffering because of this. It's everyone else as well. So and metal is a niche genre. It's not for everybody, and not a lot of people have passion for it that others do. And
true.
What are your thoughts as far as what do you think? How is this negatively impacting metal more so than other genres of music? Because I feel that it is more so than pop or indie or
Metal, to me, metal is.
Oh, I lost you. I can hear you, Joe.
What? Can you hear me? Hello, testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, we lost Joe. Can anybody hear Joe?
Hello.
Listen, guys, it wouldn't be Horror Metal Cast if we didn't have some kind of problem.
Right? Am I still on or no?
I can't hear you at all, Joseph.
Are you sure? Okay.
No, Joseph.
Disconnect.
I muted you. Listen.
You muted me. I just got an alert that said you muted me. You just unmuted me.
Adrian, I don't know if anybody else is in the chat, but I do know Adrian is. Can you hear Joe? Is it me?
You can hear. Bree can hear me. Thank you, Bree.
Okay, Bree can hear Joe, yes. So it's me. I'm the asshole here. I'm the problem.
You muted me.
God, maybe it's my headphones. They died. Hold on.
You muted me. You muted me. Hello. Testing.
There you are. It's my headphones.
Hello.
I'll let my little bit anyway. So,
You like this now? It's okay. Hello, how you doing? Okay.
oh God, those are.
To you.
So tell me, answer my question because I don't even know what I asked you now. My brain went whoop, squirrel.
You asked me if there would be an impact in the metal community, like playing metal live stream, and what the difference would be. Okay, for me, metal has always been an emotion. Metal is primarily emotion driven. Angst, anger, those kind of things drive metal. So, okay, let's say you even have a Bose system in your house, all right, and you're listening through a Bose system. That's great, right? It's great, but you can't feel it. You know what I mean? You can't feel it like you would, and it doesn't. For me, it wouldn't hit that nerve, wouldn't strike that nerve, it wouldn't, get the.
It would lack that passion.
Huh?
It would lack that passion.
Yeah, well, it would lack that feel, that thump, that push. When I go to a show, for some reason or another, I always, not because I don't think it's because I'm a musician, but I'm drawn to the stage, like in a local, not the concerts, big concerts, but local gigs. You can always find me like in front of the PA. You know what I mean? I'm standing in front of the PA like, rah, because I feel it. That's the place where you can feel it the most.
Right.
And I think that the live streaming is going to not have any of that element in it. And my fear is that, newer people in the metal might not understand that, they might not get that. One of the things that I wanted to talk about with you, that I thought was cool on a lighter note about metal is that in the recent year, there was a lot of kids that are picking up on the older metal, and we were talking about it briefly before we started. And you had to ask me how. And to be honest with you, every way. They're the living embodiment of what we used to be in the metal community years ago, wearing high tops, and knee socks.
So when just to bring everybody up to speed, because I feel like we're being very vague.
I'm sorry.
When Joe and I were talking about topics last night, kind of feeling out what we wanted to discuss on the show today, he had said, "Oh, I think a lot of kids are bringing back the style of 80s thrash metal," and my brain didn't process thrash, and immediately I thought of like my second least favorite genre of music, which is 80s hair metal. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? No one's bringing that fucking style back. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see that anywhere. And, but no, like I totally was just having like a brain fart moment. And I can totally see what you're talking about though. Like the thrash scene. Yeah, absolutely. That style.
It is. It really is.
They're emulating that all over again.
I actually, when I was in Blood Feast, I actually played with a band in Rochester, Massachusetts, a place called Ralph's Rock and Diner. It was awesome. They served the best hamburgers in the world there. So like right before you went on, and there's this big, this guy was like 9 feet tall in fur, and he was the one that was your cook, but he's a teddy bear. He's one of the nicest guys I ever met. And they do burgers and metal. And he had the one gentleman that was playing there came in high tops, and I'm like, I'm looking at him like, really? You got high tops on? And then of course, he's got the tight jeans on, and here comes the battle jacket, and I'm like, holy shit, you look like me 30 years ago. That's amazing. And then the rest of the band walked in, and they were, they were younger, but they all were uniform in that respect, that they wanted to have that type of a look. And it reflected in their playing as well, their music. I was like, damn, man, it's like I stepped back to 1983 and kind of crazy with the spikes and everything. And I could show you pictures, or go to my Facebook page and look at my pictures. And there are pictures of me in 82 and 83, spiked out.
Almost something like that would make me pay StreamYard so that I could throw those pictures up on the screen to show everybody, because that sounds hilarious.
Further embarrassment.
I'm still not going to pay for it, but it made me. I was tempted to be like Apple Pay and like do it secretly and throw your picture up there without telling you. But nah.
Yeah. No, you know what? I'm all for that because it's it adds a visual to what you're talking about.
I know.
Most of the people on here can't visualize me with long hair.
Yeah, sure. You've put up, I think, what CD was it on the back or somewhere that you had the picture of you with the long hair?
That was an 8x10. That was an 8x10 for DTA.
You threw that up there once in one of our episodes. I don't remember how long ago it was.
That was a while ago. That was like the 4th or 5th episode. That was a long time ago.
Oh, and this is episode like 30. Well, technically it's episode 32, but I labeled it 31 because the last episode was more of a we'll see you soon. We're going on hiatus.
Yeah, that was a goodbye thing. That was like, we'll talk to you very soon kind of thing. Yeah. I was sad. I was really sad, when we folded up for a little while there. And then, we both said to each other, we're going to get back to it. We're going to do it again.
We are.
But, it took turns, like I got sick and, the rip suit, was formulated, and coming around and coming into the world. And so many things have happened since.
And we were talking about it briefly before we went on the air tonight. So we Joe and I traveled the world together. We were with other people, but we took a big group vacation. We went to Italy, Greece, and Malta.
Yeah,
and it was an amazing vacation. 2.5 weeks of awesomeness, and hopefully we'll get to do it again someday.
Vatican.
Oh, yep, from the Vatican, and between him and getting sick, and then I was in the very, very horrible early morning, all day, 24 hours a day sickness period.
Yeah.
Where it was just that continued, and then he started chemo and everything like that. And then I didn't stop getting sick until I was 6 months in. So, we were between the two of us, we were just like a vomiting mess.
Yeah, really right. It was a vomitorium, you know what I mean? No, we didn't want to do a show,
No way this podcast.
Stay away from live broadcast. Stevie, how you doing tonight? Everything good? It was bad, man. Yeah, I was real ill. Like I got really, really sick. There's pictures on my Facebook page. I went down to 20. I lost 20 something pounds. I was down to 124 pounds. I was a stick. So
you're looking good again, though, man. You got.
Why not? This is all family here. I shaved it this time, and the reason I shaved it was for that. That is where the radiation went in to kill the brain tumor. So,
and you should wear that badge with honor and pride.
Yeah, so I wear
cover it up. Don't be afraid to show it off.
Just a big patch, man. People will be like, "Look at the patch guy. What's wrong with his head?"
Fuck you, I'm a patch guy. Fuck you, I'm a patch guy. That's
I got drunk with a razor, man. I really fucked up. I got like 400 stories for it. None of which involve cancer.
But make it look like staple.
I'm gonna draw a little happy face in there, get a little stick figure guy, which I can't. Yeah, there we go. I couldn't navigate the side of the camera. Right. Yeah, little guy peeking out,
Hello, I run Joe's brain.
Yeah, I'm Joe's brain. I want to say hello. Crazier shit has happened, and most of it to me. But yeah, we've been through so much, and to be here again today with you and the show and with everybody watching is a milestone.
Yes.
And I think a round of applause is in order. I think we really conquered the gamut to get back here.
You did, at least. Shit. It's no small feat to have a child harvested from your body, but Well, I had a C-section for anybody who didn't know. So he was
Here he comes, get the pitchfork. You know,
was literally harvested from my body. So that was that was
the title. That's the title right there, body harvester. You know, I'm gonna start writing books, man.
Sean, I see Sean Pelham has finally joined in.
Hey, Sean.
Both him and Sean both say that they are glad that we are back, and we are glad to be back too. But I can't express enough, or I really can't, how happy I am that Joe is here with us today.
Thank you, Stevie.
And I'm sure everybody else is just as thrilled. And then Bree says my birthday twin. So fun fact, my son was born on Bree's birthday at 11:32 p.m. Yep. So very cool stuff.
Yay.
And, you know what? Next show, we are, and I'm not going to say who is going to be joining us on our show next Monday. So we are doing a Tuesday evening show, but next week we're going to go back to a regular time slot, which is Monday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Next Monday, we're going to have a special guest joining us. I'm not going to say who. It will be actually live here with me. And then Joe, of course, is going to be joining in on the stream. So this person will be joining us. And then I may introduce you guys to my awesome little dude. His name's Ripley. Named for Ripley from the Alien franchise. Is one of the best fucking fictional characters ever written. Hands down, and I will die on that hill. Okay, fucking fight me. So I mean, if any other further thoughts that anybody's got, shout us out on Facebook, shout us out on Twitter or Instagram. Hit us up. What are your thoughts on how the music scene or metal's been impacted by COVID-19? What are your thoughts on foreign language horror films, things like that? Join the conversation. Let's keep the conversation going. We love to. You can always find me on social media at the Apaco Taco on Instagram, Apaco Taco on Twitter, or horror author Stevie Kopis on Facebook. That can be found by facebook.com/The Breadwinner Trilogy, or my webpage, someonereadthis.com. And of course, always give horrormetalsounds.com and on Facebook a like and share. And if you haven't already, I'm going to do the obligatory subscribe and hit the bell on YouTube so you don't miss out any of our content. But whatever.
You can find me at a prison near you.
No, that's weird. Don't go to prison. But anyway, I don't know all of Joe's stuff. I'll have to write it down so I can plug him, but I'll let you.
There's like 400 band sites.
Only 435.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Self-promote.
I took it slow. I got back in easy, slow and easy, we said. So I'm doing the head case thing. I'm doing the Black Sabbath thing, which is Symptom, the name of the band. I'm doing the DTA thing, and very happy to be doing the Necrophile thing. That's going back to my first band in high school in 80 something, way back there. It was like 81 or 82.
So I don't know.
That's going way back, but all the original members are there. All the guys except for one who we lost, the bass player. But outside of that, everybody else is there. So I'll be hitting you with all kinds of music stuff, coming up very shortly.
Hell yeah!
And DTA wants to write again, so we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff. Bunch of
Throw
stuff.
out your. How can people find you on Instagram and Facebook?
Just Google my name, Joe Moore. And,
Joe, you're the worst. You are literally the worst. You don't even know what your usernames are. I can't with you.
I think if you
stop.
Wet puppy at no, it's wait a minute. Hold on.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Blood Feast Joe at Instagram is
it isn't. No, it's not. It's Joey Moore 67.
Oh, that's right. That's Instagram. Hey, what do you want from a guy that hits shit with wood? You know what I mean? We're not the smartest guys out there, you know. We do all we can when we got it.
Absolutely cannot. Guys, I don't know what the fuck we're going to talk about next week. Probably Sasquatch, probably ghosts.
I got a mean story.
It would be a cool thing. We'll once upon a time we talked about we were going to have a story where a show where we shared stories of paranormal and supernatural experiences. I don't have any, but I'll be glad to host it.
I got
And
tons.
listen to everybody else. So don't forget to join us in the chat next week. Tell your stories, and we will discuss them on air live with everyone. So next week, Monday, 7 Central or 7 Eastern, 6 Central, same place, same time, same people, same awesomeness. Don't miss out. Subscribe, and thank you for fucking joining us. We're back, guys.
We're back. We're back here. Blood Feast Joe at Facebook.com. Okay, there's one. That's one.
Oh my God, you're still stuck on this. I can't. Good night.
Love you guys. See you next week.
Bye, guys.